So it is what it is. But I'll tell you what else is what it is, Tim. I don't know if I like this, man. I want to get your take on this. Adam Schefter tweeted out. You ready for this? Giants are expected to start Jameis Winston versus the Packers.
Here's a guy.
Ronan and me. Let me first, before we dive too deep into this, I want to say Jameis Winston is one of my favorite players in the NFL. I love how open he is about his Christian faith. I love how his teammates love him. I love how he's not fake because he is just a quirky human being. There's nobody, Tim, that could fake that being that fake. This dude, man, right here, he is unapologetically himself, and it's hilarious when he talks, man. The stuff that he says, the eating the W's, this and that.
Yep.
This, you better not overlook Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston, he can win you a ball game. Here's the thing about Jameis Winston, and Darius Butler said it on Pat McAfee earlier today. He's going to throw some throws that you go, damn, what a throw. And you're going to see some other throws where you go, damn, why did he throw that? Like, it's going to happen both ways. You got to make those plays when they come your way because he's probably going to thread the needle on a couple that otherwise would have been considered a dangerous throw. How do you feel about Jameis Winston playing quarterback instead of our boy, who was it? Not the injured quarterback.
Danger Russ Wilson.
Yeah, I
think I'd rather have Russ.
Yeah.
But I'm not terrified or afraid of Jameis Winston. But everything you said is true. You cannot overlook him. You're talking about experienced veteran quarterback. He's done this a handful of times in his career as he's kind of bounced around the league. Had to step up into a starting role, whether he's second or third on the depth chart, and able to come in and win ball games for whatever team he's a part of. And I agree. I think it's partly due to the type of player he is. Jameis Winston is a guy that you're not going to rattle. The guy's he's going to play loose and relaxed every time he's on that football field. I don't think he's not one of those quarterbacks that you can, get nervous or shake him up. So, but yeah, he'll throw some meatballs up there for you. So our defense has got to capitalize. Hopefully we see a couple of picks on Sunday, but yeah, I do. I think I'd rather face Russ based on what we saw last week in the game. I wish we would have had Russ under center for the Giants, but this will be an entertaining game to say the least.
Yeah. Now, Jameis Winston obviously is a little longer in the tooth now, right? So yep. I don't think you have to worry about him scrambling too much. So you could probably limit your cage rush a little bit and let the guys go eat. But you got to be aware of their running game as well. Obviously, now I'm excited to dive into the game plan. We'll get to that once we get through Chalk Talk. I hate Monday night games, Tim. It throws everything so far behind, man. I've been trying to catch up all day. But when we dive into the game plan, the thing that sticks out to me early is their pass rush is actually pretty good. They got some dogs on that pass rush. So we got to, I think, stick with the run, right? Establish the run early. They get the worst run defense in the league. Get the run game going. Make them make the mistakes and just slowly lean on them. And again, there's going to be some people saying, they better win by 14. No, you better win by 1.
Better just win the game.
Yeah. You better not overlook the Giants. You better go in and just, hey, look, and I think we're 7-point favorites right now. That doesn't make a hill of beans. It doesn't, right?
What would be your approach defensively with, this new information? Do you send the dogs after Jameis, or do you keep it all in front of you and wait for him to make a mistake?
I would keep everything in front of you, and I would pin your ears back with the 4. And what I mean by that, guy, when they hear me say, don't be aggressive with the pass rush, they immediately think, don't blitz. Or if I say, I want to be aggressive with the pass rush, they immediately think, okay, we're blitzing. No. Being aggressive with the pass rush is allowing your front 4 to rush freely. Okay. So when you rush freely, you're not worried about what we call a cage rush, right? Where you're just kind of compressing the pocket. You're keeping him in the well. You're keeping kind of like what we do with Bryce Young, right? Mm-hmm. Until Jameis Winston shows me he could tuck that thing and run like some of these mobile quarterbacks, Coach Lynn's got it here. Rush with 4, play coverage. That doesn't necessarily mean man or zone. However, I would like to see more zone because they're probably going to try to lean on their running game. The other thing, too, you guys remember we did the watch party, Tim. What was a big part of the Giants' offense with Jackson Dart? They ran that QB power, right?
Yep.
That's out the window with Jameis Winston. They may run it once or twice, but they're not going to lean on QB power like the Bills do with Josh Allen or like the Giants did with Jackson Dart. And by the way, where's Jackson Dart now? His second concussion of the year running QB power, right? So
yeah.
it is what it is. So, with that being said, I also want you to make sure your focus is on the run game, right? So, what I mean is allow your front four to rush somewhat recklessly, okay? However, with everyone behind them, keying on the run fits. And like coach is saying, keep 7 in coverage and keep at least 2, maybe 3 over the top. Play zone, keep your eyes on the ball, stop their running game, make Jameis Winston beat you from within the pocket with Rashawn Gary on one side and Micah Parsons on the other. And who knows, maybe we get LVN back this week. I hope we do. But Devontae Wyatt, he
I
showed
was
up.
just going to say, Heavy D's. This is the game for him right here.
Bingo. Yeah. Chester Marco actually asked, is LV on a milk carton? He's actually hurt. He's been hurt for several weeks now. So hopefully we get him back this week because he was starting to really step into his own when he went down with that foot injury. Hopefully he's the same player,
especially in those run fits.
Yeah. So let's jump into the injury report here a little bit, Tim. See if we got any information that broke earlier today, and then we'll get ready to wrap this thing up. I feel like I've been talking forever and just probably too much information. But your boy was up all night with a stomach virus, so it was until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon that I decided, okay, I can do this show tonight. I can do both these shows because I was hurting bad. I was hurting, Linda. I was hurting real bad. Godsmack AR69 with a super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says Sean Ryan has a chance to be a Packer hero. He really does, man.
Superhero, like Nacho Libre.
How come we can't just have something like a salad? Gotta love that movie. Emilio, have you seen Nacho Libre? Please tell me yet.
Yeah, come on, Clay. It's been a minute, actually. I do need to rewatch it. It's been a minute. So
that's my guy right there.
He's a dog.
I'm telling you, I tell everybody before we do Chalk Talk tomorrow, everybody go watch that 4th down run stuff where Jacobs cuts back in the opposite direction and watch Sean Ryan on that play. I was like, all right, okay, my man. He's got some mean in him for sure, man. So as Coach Lynn says, he's UCLA grad too. So there you go.
Yep.
Godsmack, thank you for the super chat, man. I agree, man. He's got a chance to become a fan favorite, man. There's no doubt about it. So, what does Chester say? Ryan, I need a hero. I'm holding out for a hero till the end of the night. He's got to be strong. He's got to be fast. He's got to be fresh from the fight. I need a hero.
There it is. I was waiting for you to sing it.
Yeah. All right. Matt Schneiden said Packers held a walkthrough today, so their end of the injury report is an estimation. Okay, so just keep that in mind. You guys know how this goes. If they didn't actually practice, it's if they had practiced, this is what it would have been. Here's the injury report. Edgerrin Cooper limited with a foot. Romeo Dobbs full participation. You seen him leave for a short time there with the chest injury, right? So he seems to be good to go, full participation. Kingsley Egbare limited with the knee. Matthew Golden limited with the shoulder. Nate Hobbs did not participate with the knee. He'll be out. Just go ahead and bank on that, right? Micah Parsons with a pec. He's limited. Zach Tom limited with the back. You got Lucas Van Ness did not participate with the foot. Me no likey that, Jam. I was hoping to see at least a limited there, although they didn't actually practice. A little easier to hide that if they do want to just pretend like, no, he didn't practice again, and then bang. He's on the report tomorrow as limited. That'd be awesome. Quay Walker limited with the calf. Dontavion Wicks limited with the calf. And Savion Williams limited with the foot. Is that what happened to Williams last night, guys? Emilio, did you hear anything about Savion Williams? Tim, you were there, right? I say last night. It wasn't last night.
Just remember, he was nowhere to be found after a while. And I don't know if he got stepped on or something, but these foot injuries, man, foots and calves this year, crazy.
Yeah, really is. What about you, Emilio? That's got to be what happened to Savion. That's why we end up seeing Bo Melton out there more, right?
Yeah, I would think maybe it's not as much of the flyer as we first thought. So you would think that foot definitely could have played a role. Still holding out hope for Matt, Golden to turn it up. But again, how fast do we want to be rushing these guys back at this point? I mean, either way, we got to win this game. Whoever's out there, if it's Bo again, and we need to win this game, and it'll be good reps for Bo in case we ever need to use him later on in the season. So either way, it's got to happen. I want him to come back healthy. I think the only question would have been LVN just because this is his 4th game in a row. So technically we probably could have thrown him on IR, right? So that would be the only kind of, thought. But, hey, you hoped that he would have been back, and I'm not upset about them for keeping him ready to, on the roster ready to go. If he was, it'd be better. So besides that, that's
good thing that they didn't send him to the IR, right? I mean, you see Egbare popping up with the knee here.
Exactly.
So
is it the same knee? Is it for the same?
That's
knee
what I'm wondering. And
I wish they told us, right? But they're not going to.
Yeah. So if we, that's a scenario you don't want to be in. You don't want to have no Inigbare, no LVN.
Right.
So at least we'll have it. It looks like we'll have the opportunity to have at least one of those two, if not both of them, hopefully, for Sunday's game. And then Edge Coop with the foot again, the foot injury. That's makes me a little nervous there.
I love that. You got to plan off of it, Tim. I mean, anything like that turf toe. It's just you never know what that could be. I'm not for it.
Chris Casualin says, "Fire the trainer again."
Fire everybody.
Coach Land says, "We got Sorrell though." Hey, Sorrell, man,
that's true. That's a good point. Can't sleep on Baron Sorrell.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think he's going to be a good football player. So, all right, moving along to the Giants side. Look at this CVS receipt here, boys. So here's what we got. Limited Paulson Adebo, defensive back with a knee. Daniel Bellinger, tight end with the groin. He was limited. Jackson Dart, quarterback, is in concussion protocol, did not participate. They already said that Jameis Winston was going to be playing, so he's done. That's his second concussion of the year. Hate to see that for a great young quarterback like Jackson Dart. Let's see. We got Victor, linebacker with the shoulder. He's limited. All right. You got Graham Gano, their kicker, did not participate. Chauncey Golston, linebacker, did not participate. Neville Hewitt, linebacker with the foot, did not participate. Evan Neal, offensive lineman with the hammy, did not participate. Tyler Nubin, remember my boy Nubin?
Hello, Nubin.
Nubin with the neck, did not participate. Raheem Nunez Roches, I think I'm saying that right. Defensive lineman with the toe, did not participate. Bobby, go ahead, Emilio. You got this. Okereke? Okereke? All right, Okereke. There you go. That sounds like a carrot cake. Got me hungry. Shoulder did not participate. John Michael Schmitz with the offensive line, or on the offensive line with the shin, was limited. Darius Slayton, wide receiver, did not participate. And Kayvon Thibodeau with the shoulder did not participate. When I said they've got a good young pass rush, Thibodeau is one of the guys that's got a lot of high upside, right? He was a high draft pick. That's one that I was expecting. So they're going to be banged up here. At some point, too, if you're the Giants, they got 2 wins. Am I thinking right, guys? So if they've got 2 wins, at some point, they've got to also look up and go, all right, boys, it might be time to just start throttling back a little bit, put these guys on IR and play for next year and get a higher draft pick, right? That's definitely a real thing in the league that many people don't like to talk about. But what do y'all think about their injury report here, man?
I mean, they already fired the head coach, right? So, I mean, writing's on the wall there. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like this is like, what type of Giants team are we really going to be looking at here, Because it's not a Coach Daboll team anymore. So it's kind of a wild card, really. But I am glad that they're missing a few key elements to their team, just like we are. So, at least it's not a lopsided injury report going into this one.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys heard or not, but Brian Daboll, there's rumors swirling around him potentially being interested in Penn State, being interested in him as their head football coach. He's got kids that go to Penn State, and he was seen leaving his house, snowing outside, beautiful backdrop, had a Penn State hoodie on. Emilio, you may be dealing with Brian Daboll on NCAA football.
Oh, boy. I'm telling you, they're always a challenge. They may not get the best recruits. You really got to have a pipeline in Penn State. But besides that, they're a problem, man. 100,000 in that stadium's tough. But looking at the Giants, 4 of them are limited. Everybody else do not participate. That's a tough look. And they were talking on Move the Sticks about Daboll getting fired, right? But then you have the OC stepping up as the interim head coach, and who was making the play calls before that, because maybe they put Jackson Dart out there, a couple too many times on a couple quarterback counters, couple quarterback runs. So it is the interim head coach who's already had interviews for head coaches previously. Is he, going to try to dial some of that back for Jackson Dart and maybe look to, keep him upright a little bit longer, a little bit more often? So how are you looking at your franchise quarterback? They have a lot of things going on over there. They're worried about, the future and everything. We need to go in there and just make sure that we do more than enough to bring this win home. I think we gotta beat them by double digits ideally, but I'm not trying to put too much on them. I think just as a statement piece, get us that taste out of our mouth and get us back on the winning streak, get us on a roll. I think that'd be the move.
Yeah. Deadfish got an interesting question here. Is there any chance that they start Dart would they say Winston is going to start to keep us from preparing for Dart? I kind of feel like we've never seen that happen. I want to say never. In the last, I know, at least 5 years, I haven't seen a team come out and announce someone as a starter and then start another quarterback. Am I wrong there, guys? Have y'all ever seen anybody do that? Because, again, the report that we had, I've already closed it out. Tim, it did say they announced him as a starter this week, right? That's what the report said.
Yeah, I believe so. We had that from several different outlets and sources, correct?
Yeah, and listen, I know Emilio's just grimy enough that what he would do in his Madden franchises, he would say that and then start Dart. I know how he rolls.
Yeah, you have to against users, man. You need every edge you can get against them. But, Clay, the only other thing I would say to that is they were saying, on with the sticks again, the previous, or maybe it was Ross Tucker, previous Giants players that had concussions throughout the season, all of them that had a concussion missed the next game.
Yeah.
So it looks like that their stance and their kind of takeaway has always missed that next game at least, as maybe a training staff or a franchise, whatever it is. But that's what it seems like so far. And
I just pulled up another report here. This is from NFL. So we had, I think, Adam Schefter before. And this is NFL. It says Giants interim head coach Mike Kafka says Jameis Winston will start at quarterback in week 11. So, again, I'm not saying it's not possible, Deadfish, but it's highly, highly, highly unlikely they would announce him as a starter and then start Dart, right? So, and I understand what you're thinking too, because I want to see Winston over Dart, that's for sure, right? Yeah. I also want to see Russ Wilson over Winston, to be honest with you. That's a story for a different day, right? So, which, by the way, it sounds like we've got our first soundbite of Jameis. I'm assuming this is recent because Adam Schefter just tweeted it out. And listen, we got to play these. These are gold, okay? Adam Schefter said the Jameis Winston show continues. Let's see what he's got to say this time. This dude, every time he opens his mouth, it's gold. Here we go.
I want fans to know that I'm going to do my best. You know, obviously I'm going to have fun, but I'm going to execute, have a surgical execution, and just play ball, man. Like, this is something I've been doing since I've been 4 years old. Now I just get to do it in the greatest city in the world. I'm going to be saying it with my son. It's the greatest city in the world. Yeah, that's a Hamilton reference if y'all don't know. Yeah, 10-year reunion.
I love this dude, man. Him and Rome, wouldn't you like to just be a fly on the wall of him and Rome?
Yeah, right. That'd be a fun group to go to dinner with, right?
I was gonna say let them open up a pack of gummies and you kick back and relax, just watch the show. You know what I mean? That'd be absolutely hilarious. So, what do you think, Emilio? Are you worried about Chris Casual, greatest city in the world? How do you feel about Jameis Winston? Are you worried about him at all, man?
No, I think he's just a gamer. You're playing against those kind of every week. I think you just got to go out there, do your assignments. That defense is skilled enough to take it to Jameis. Like you said, back end of the career. I think we got the upper hand. We just need to make it happen.
Got it. And the playoff machine is back. Shout out to our Aaron Rodgers, not the Aaron Rodgers, who
playoffs.
It's that time of the year, ladies and gentlemen. So this is absolutely awesome to see. Love the fact that you can just go through and say, all right, the Packers beat the Giants. Bang, that's what happens. You know what I mean? You could say Cardinals are going to upset the 49ers. Probably ain't going to happen, but bang, that's what would happen, right? Let's say the Bears lose to the Vikings at home, right? You see the Bears in the 6th seed. Does anything change? The Bears are now the 7th seed, and the Green Bay Packers are the 6th seed, right? I just love this time of year. Let's say the Eagles beat the Lions. Does anything change, guys? The Lions are the 3rd seed. Looky there, boys. All of a sudden, the Packers are leading the North if that happens. If the Vikings beat the Bears and the Eagles beat the Lions on Sunday Night Football, the Packers take care of business in New York, all of a sudden, we're right back in first place, and it'll probably change the following week. So that's what it's going to be for the rest of the year. So I love this playoff simulation, though. So just wanted to hit that. Anything else you guys want to hit on before we get ready to do our giveaway and wrap this big bear up?
No, I think we got it. What about you, Excelio?
Not too much. No, I just came from dinner. That's all. A little late, but glad you got it covered. Excited for some chalk talk tomorrow, right, Clay? And then we got to turn it quick.
Yeah, I told y'all 10 plays, right?
Yeah, we got 19.
I think we got 19 too. So
nailed it.
I've got them in the system. Now I got to go through and edit everything. I'm hoping I can get it done by tomorrow. I really do. But it's going to be a fun one, man. There's a lot to learn off this tape. There really is. So, Amelia, you said you went and got, would you get authentic Italian? You go to Fazoli's? Is that what you did?
No. went to Hot Pot, Clay. I don't know if you know what that's all about.
Hot box? You hot boxing?
Hot Pot.
Oh, okay, gotcha. What do they do? They make like noodles and stuff?
Yeah, noodles. You can cook your own meat and stuff in your soup, and I'll show you around.
No, yeah, we've got a Vietnamese restaurant here called Calm, and it's the same thing: raw, thin sliced beef.
Yes, exactly. That's it.
Tim, this soup base, man, this broth will hurt you, bro. You got to be careful. That stuff is steaming. It's boiling.